Welcome back to the High Vibe Honey podcast, the space where power meets peace, frequency meets finesse, and success gets to feel like soul. I'm your host, Katie Rogers, soul-led leadership and feminine embodiment coach for high-performing women who are done chasing and are ready to collapse time into deeper embodiment, devotion, and desire. And today's episode is pure magic and mischief. I'm joined by a woman whose work is rebellion and resurrection. Dasha Barsakova is a vision doula, speaker, and founder of Shkoda, a mystery school for sacred rebellion. She supports rebels, healers, and thought leaders in transmuting money trauma, activating life force, and birthing movements that matter. Her energy is electric, and her message is medicine for anyone who is ready to trade just enoughness for overflow and finally safe to receive more. This conversation is about far more than money, it's liberation. So let's dive in. Dasha, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi, Katie. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Of course, of course. Now, your work into this journey, it started early, right? So I want to know what pulled you into the world of soul, somatics, and sacred rebellion at age 16.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I feel like so blessed that my journey began so early. And some people even start earlier, but this was a good time because it was like this pivotal moment, like year 12 exams, you have to decide the rest of your life, and then it's just such, but the stress, and um, I fell into it just by magic. Something happened with my mom, and then she went to this self-development thing, and she was like a totally new person. We were like, who that? What? I didn't, and like at that point, I was so disconnected to my mom. Like I didn't even know she was gone the whole weekend. Like I didn't even realize. And
Yeah.
then I was like, what happened to you? And then she brought me to like the special like intro evening graduation. And she's like, you want to do it? And I'm like, no. And then this woman, actually, her name is Angela, and she's my guardian angel. She really has supported me so much. Like, she's my fairy godmother, like literally through my life. And her name is Angela. Can you believe it? Like,
I love
angel.
that. Yeah.
She got me into it. And then I was like, she's like, yeah, we'll help you decide what you want to do in life. And la, la, la. I was like, okay, I guess, whatever, I'll do it. But then once I did it, I was like, I want to transform the world, because I was like, I want to bring this work to Russia because I was like, it doesn't happen in Russia and my family needs this. And I
Yeah.
was so inspired because it was my first glimpse into a completely different reality, right? Like, and back then, I don't know the circles you're hanging out with or your listeners, but back then, if I told people, like, come, this will change your life forever, they're like, oh, I will do self-development if there's something wrong, if something really bad happens. And I was
Mhm.
like, nothing bad ever happened to me. My life just exponentially like changed. And so Angela then got me into the leadership program, and I gave up all my Friday nights when I turned 18. Like I had to fly to the other side of Australia so I could join that cohort because it was like I wasn't 18 yet in Perth. So then I was 18 for the first like weekend. So it was like crazy. And then fast forward, Angela's living in a tree house in Guatemala. And I'm like, I'm a wanderlust. I want to travel the world. I'm just like, I'm going to go visit Angela in Guatemala. But by that
Wow.
point, she was gone. But she left me a roadmap. She was like, you have to go see that person, that person, that person. So I saw my first shaman. And at this point in my life, like I believed in self-development. I wanted to transform the world, but I didn't believe in magic or mysticism or anything like that. So I was like, oh, and I was like so deep in my money shit, right? And it was $60. And back then, $60 was a lot, but not that, like for Guatemala, it was a lot. But for real life, it was not that much. And I had to invest this $60 to see this shaman who was not like what you think a shaman is. He's just like an old dude, like a gray old dude. He was American. He put me against this white wall and started to read my aura. And I was like, this is bullshit. And I'm standing there and I'm just like blank face. And he's asking me questions. So the thing is, he allowed me to record this. And I'm so grateful because I wasn't ready to receive the wisdom he was telling me in that moment. I listened back to the girl that was standing against that white wall in complete denial to her power, to anything that was actually happening. He would ask me a question. I'd be like, nope. He would ask me a question. I'm like, nope. And I remember like standing there and just, I don't want to give him anything. I don't believe, like surprise me, like prove that you're like magic. And then he told me, he like predicted my future. He was like, in 5 years, you'll be healing people through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the? So I got totally confronted. And I'm sure you and your listeners know how it is when you're like facing your purpose and mission and your dreams. You're just like, fuck no, go into my toxic behavior. So I went from the spiritual side of Achitlan to the party side. I then did some like energy healing with my friends and it fucking worked, and it freaked me out even more because back then I only knew like healing through the internet is like telepathy and energy. Like there's nothing else that you could do, right? And I just got drunk and then I kind of left it, and then fast forward, I fell into Tantra and shamanism. Yeah. And I also like really loved the spiritual yoga. And then I studied yoga and realized like, oh shit, that's the real yoga. So I fell into Tantra, I fell into shamanism, and I was like, oh, because I also studied psychology. I missed that. I studied psychology. I was
Mm-hmm.
traveling the world, saw the shaman, but I was so disconnected from the energy field until then. And this is where it all began. I was like, I found my purpose to empower women to have self-love and orgasms. It's like I'm a Virgo double Scorpio. So I was already drawn to the taboo. So first it was pleasure and sexuality. And then it became like relating and menstrual cycle, like really empowering women around their like life elixir. And now it's money and that resistance of like, oh, I don't want to be that superficial person talking about money. But then realizing the more I'm working with people, it is a sacred rebellion. Us connecting to our power, money, sex, and as women, our menstrual cycle is sacred rebellion. This is where, like, under so much shame, so much power is hidden. And
Mm-hmm.
me realizing how much we project onto money, and how much we give our power away because we're like, oh, you know what? I don't want to claim my power. I'm just going to pretend, this is subconscious, that it's all money. It's all money. Instead of being like, I'm
I love this. What a beautiful pathway into doing the work, and then also deciding like how you want to apply it and where you want to work. Because yeah, I agree, relationships, money, like relationship to self, to our cycle is such, they're all such beautiful vehicles for transformation. And as you say, these are spaces where our core stuff comes up, our core shame, our core wounding. And when we get to see it and work with it, that is a huge space for energetic transformation. So yeah, I really love this. And you spoke a lot about navigating extremes of money trauma as well. I've heard you talk about money rexia, scarcity, and desire shame. Can you walk us through your turning point and what helped you rewire your relationship with receiving?
yeah. Yeah. Wow. What a journey. I think, I think that the first step is, and I'm sure most of your listeners are way ahead of this, but I come from like a really spiritual background where you really were conditioned to reject money. And if you wanted money, it's bad. Like you're a bad person and you can't be a healer or a change maker and want money or
Mm,
have money. Like you have to do everything for free.
mhm,
And and money's bad and it's evil and it's corrupt society, corrupts everyone. Like, and I walked around with like deep scarcity, like I never have enough, and that was normal to complain about it, to like look at things and be like, I can't afford it. I can't afford a $30 ticket. I'm not going to go to this thing.
mm,
And I think the biggest turning point was giving myself permission to actually heal that there's like, hey, I'm allowed to want money. Like I actually get to make money for my gifts in the world.
Yeah.
Like it like it's okay. Like money actually, and like, but it wasn't for a very long time that I actually understood. It wasn't until this year that we project things onto money. I was still projecting things onto money. And I still felt like if people did money work, like it was there was there was like some judgment, like, okay, there's okay to do just a little bit of money work that you're liberated, but not like you can't go for millions, because there is that's greedy, there's still some kind of subconscious beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
not understanding that money is actually infinite and not comprehending that, because society, like time and money is infinite, because we're so conditioned that it's finite and that we only have a limit, and you're either trading one or the other, not understanding that no, you can actually bend time and warp time and money and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think my biggest thing was actually allowing myself to even look at this as something that can be healed, finding out that we're we're not born to understand money, and there's actually, you can learn about it. I think I'm quite lucky in a sense. I don't come from a very normal background. My family was very entrepreneurial, so I was one foot into that world, and I think that's what really pulled me out. But yeah, it was a really deep journey. Then I realized, I kind of coined the term moneyrexia. I went from being a shopaholic, like just spending, to then, and I think the pivotal point is, and I talked actually about this in one of my trainings recently, because I ran a thing around being spoiled. Yeah. And I realized that I'm really good at being spoiled, actually, because my mom was really good at spoiling me. So in my nervous system, it was like, it's safe to be spoiled. But kids learn from what they see, not what they're told. She
Mm-hmm.
never spoiled herself. So my learned behavior is, I can't spoil myself. Yes, I can receive from everyone else, but I can't actually give it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, wow, this journey has been so, like, this so nuanced. But I think like the first step was realizing that I'm allowed to want money and it's not evil. Noticing that our subconscious beliefs are constantly fruitioning. So I love belief hunting. I love shadow hunting. I live by the premise our beliefs create our reality. So eventually I got to money and I'm like, oh wow, well, if my beliefs create my reality everywhere else, like they're obviously creating it around money.
Yeah. Yeah, so powerful. I love how you shared as well of noticing the stories that we project onto money and being like, we can say like money is bad, money is shameful, money is vulgar, like whatever it is. And then you notice like, oh, wait, that's what I'm making it mean, and I can make it mean something else. And I think, as we move through, it's like there are so many layers to this. You'll be projecting stuff onto money when you're in like a lower price bracket, and when you're in maybe a scarcity mindset, and you'll still be doing it when you are making millions or billions. It's just going to be different stories around that. And we all do. It's very easy to catch up in the loop of it, but noticing when you are kind of in that matrix and being able to set yourself free from it. I think, there's never going to be a space, and you can fully disagree with me on this, where you're like, you never ever project anything on money again. It's just more about like, oh, I noticed I'm doing that. Now what do I want to do with that? Because it is a beautiful mirror to project our stuff onto. It's difficult to see within us what is looking to be healed or more fully expressed or embodied. So by having that mirror via money is actually a really powerful thing, and we don't need to necessarily make that wrong, but it's then what you do with it.
Yeah, really well said. I can't disagree with you. I'm not there yet. And
Yeah.
my neither are my clients. So
Yeah,
I think love and acceptance is the like the secret to everything, right?
totally.
So really well said.
Yeah, and really leads into this idea of like not making any of that wrong, like not making the projection wrong, also not making your desires wrong. What I love is how you're like, yeah, actually, I want to be spoiled. And maybe in the past I might have made myself wrong for that, but actually I'm gonna hold that now and not make myself wrong for it. So yeah, I love this. I love the exploration as well around receiving from another versus giving to yourself and receiving fully there, which is, yeah, such a powerful distinction. So leading it on from that, I want to hear more about what does it mean to you to get spoiled by money, and why do so many heart-led entrepreneurs struggle with that level of receiving?
Yeah, I think I touched upon it a little bit, and everything is a learned behavior. And I'm really seeing that when I shared that, because I was like channeling that, and I was like, oh, moment, you know. And when I shared it, so many people were in the chat, like, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, that was my mom. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Right. So I feel like in everything that I teach, it's everything's a learned behavior, you know, how we're
Mhm.
relating, yeah, our attachment style. So, like how we were given love, how we received love, and how we give and receive love, right? So, I think why a lot of entrepreneurs actually struggle with this is because they might not be running their business from an overflow, from like the place of this is my mission, this is my sole purpose, this is, I'm doing this out of love, out of joy. And they might be fueled by their ego. They might be fueled by limiting beliefs of I'm never enough, I'm not good enough. And I find that this is what leads to burnout, because you're like chasing the carrot no matter what, because you
Mhm.
actually haven't come to this acceptance that you're talking about, this radical acceptance for every part of you. And in this level, like, you want to punish yourself. Yeah. So like a way of not spoiling, and this was my manorexia as well, like the way I deprived myself of love, the only way I could because I was like love coming through all, because I was so like into love, self-love practices, devotional practices, all the things. But this was one way I could deprive myself of love and cut, like I can't have the nicest thing. I have to have the cheapest thing. I have to walk. I can't get the Uber. I can't get the cake I want. I have to get the cheaper thing. I can't get the coffee that's 50 cents more. I have to get it was like this kinky relationship. And I find that's what happens is people are still feeling so, and this is another layer that I found, because I also teach like manifestation and magic, and it's all interlinked with everything we do. So there is a certain capacity of like worth and deservingness that you hold. So you might
Yeah.
feel so deserving of one thing, but then totally unworthy of it. And in the energetic realm, and I speak a lot about energetics, this is what pushes it away.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like, even for example, like, and then you're thinking of taking yourself out for a dinner, but then you're like talking yourself out of it already, like I'm too busy, I'm this, I'm that, there's always something. Or maybe someone's to spoil you by taking you to dinner, and then you could even like subconsciously sabotage by like triple booking yourself with like podcast interviews, things like that. So yeah, I find it's really linked to self-worth. It's really linked to um yeah, really it all comes back to self-worth. It's like you don't feel worthy, like you don't feel worthy to take the time off to do that thing. Or sometimes it's really rooted in scarcity and fear, where it's like, I can't take that time off because what if I miss the opportunity? It's like, what if I'm not like posting all the time? I'm gonna miss that client. So I find those are like the two main causes.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that this point around self-worth is really interesting because, I find 98% of the stuff that we deal with has an element of self-worth to it. Now, that doesn't mean that you are fundamentally unworthy or you fundamentally feel unworthy about everything. It's like I said, at every level, there is going to be like your floor and your ceiling in terms of like the worthiness piece, and it might be different in like what I'm willing to receive in love or what I'm willing to receive in money or in business or whatever. So when you can understand and notice the stories that sit underneath that, you get to see like I am receiving what is an exact match for what I believe I'm worthy of receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it that way, it's like, well, what if I was worthy of receiving more? Then what would that look like? What if I gave myself the permission? What would that feel like? And then it's almost like this existential kink piece of having is evidence of wanting. So when you can take radical responsibility for that and like, oh, I'm having this current ceiling or this current cap in relation to my finances, it's because I want it. I want it. Okay, then instead of being this horrible thing that's happening to you, it's this kinky thing you're consenting to. So if I want it because this relates to my story around worth, why would I want that? and then reverse sort of engineering from there feels like a really powerful way to move.
Yeah, I love that. I really love the way you put that. Because I talk a lot in the lingo of manifestation, and people are like, I want to be good at manifesting. I'm like, you are. You are
Yeah.
constantly manifesting. You're
Yeah.
constantly manifesting with everything that's happening, the good and the
Mhm.
bad. And if your life sucks, you're really good at magnetizing that in. But like, when people come, it's like, there's always all these horrible things always happen to me. I'm like, wow, you are such a powerful manifester. So let's
Yeah.
transform your
You are a
subconscious
kinky
so then
manifester.
yeah, so like let's transform that so you can have like so your subconscious and your conscious mind actually matches, right? Because we think that our conscious mind is like running the show. It's like, oh, we want this launch and we want these clients and we want this relationship, but deep down our subconscious is running the show, and our subconscious is like, oh my god, that's terrifying, new things, unfamiliar things, I don't want that new thing, let's stay in this toxic connection to whatever it is. Yeah, so it's very kinky.
I love this. It's so true. Whatever your subconscious mind wants, that's what you get. And yeah, from the conscious space, we're only really working in like the 5% shifts of your outer world. You want to do the deeper stuff, you want to get the rapid results. It's from the neck down. This is where you do your work. So yeah, I love how you walked us through that. And I would love to see, so we talked about money as a mirror as well. And I want to know, what has money reflected back to you in your most recent evolution?
Oh my God, I feel so grateful. It really like, you know, when you ask that question, what intuitively comes to mind is that I am so loved, I am so supported, I am so worthy, I am so deserving. Money loves me so much, and it's there all the time, just waiting for me to open my arms to say, yes, more, please.
Yeah.
And that's a huge journey from where I was. It's like before it was like trapping money and it's like putting in this dungeon, like never leave me, and if we look at like personifying money, and if it's like, how can you treat your money as a lover or as a friend rather than a monster, or a
Mm.
villain? And like if
A
they were your
hostage.
lover, yeah, hostage, if they were your lover and they came, and every time they came and you were like, why don't you come more often? Like, why don't you come more often? And or like trap them, you're not
Yeah.
leaving, you're not freaking leaving. Money ain't gonna come back with a party of friends.
Yeah, I love that. Such a gorgeous evolutionary point, I think, when you can really connect to that inherent worthiness and see the relationship that you've been having with money and evolve it. And I love the personification of it as well, because as you say, when we imagine having a relationship like that with anyone else or anywhere else in our life, we're like, oh yeah, that is not the dynamic that I want to create. That is not what would support a healthy relationship. And when you notice this sense of probably codependent dynamic with money, it's like, oh, that's probably showing up elsewhere as well. So it's more, yeah, money will be your mirror to show you where you can get free, and you can use that and get free, not just in relation to money, but more widely in all of your relationships, and everything is relationship. So yeah, I really love this. And I'm so happy for you as well. What a gorgeous realization to be able to hold and to receive, which sounds really like such a big, powerful part of your journey.
Yeah, it's been a freaking roller coaster, like ups and downs and twists and turns. And I was like, what? But now this is why I feel so embodied in this, like so
Yeah.
embodied to teach it. And I haven't, like, I want to just talk a little bit about my money trauma, just so people have like an
Yeah,
idea of
please.
what's possible, because I didn't come from like a wealthy family. And also that creates money trauma, coming from a wealthy family, feeling guilt and shame that you were always provided for. I have clients coming to me around that. Like they are constantly provided for and they're rejecting money. And it's like, people are hoping for this reality and you're just like, can't accept it, right? We all have our things. I come from like crazy poverty, like crazy, like um scarcity trauma, like epigenetic trauma. So I had my grandma's born during the World War III in St. Petersburg. Yeah, World War III, World War II. Oh my God. I hope that I'm not delete. That
I
is
was
not
like,
happening
oh, I haven't
in
heard
this
about that one.
reality. That is not happening in this reality. Like, oh my God, I can't believe what a Freudian slip. Oh my God, I'm terrified. Let's hope that I'm just like, I think my phone like went off and it like, yeah, let me just put it on do not disturb. It like totally like spaz my brain. Um, so my grandmas were born during the World War II Russian blockade, which is when Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, got blocked off for 3 years with no food coming in. So it's like I love studying that culture because I'm just so fascinated by like that time as well. Like, how did people survive? They would get a ration of bread like this big for the whole family.
Mm.
And like my grandma's mom would suck it and then feed it to her as a baby. Um, one of my grandmas got kidnapped to be eaten because there were like no cats, no dogs, no rats, like everything was eaten. And another crazy story, my grandma's other mom worked in a theater. So this is also really beautiful. Like they kept like the morale, like they kept the theaters open during this crazy time, you know? It's like it says a lot. It really says a lot about like the importance of culture and the importance of arts that in our society sometimes we ignore, but that's a side tangent. So she got this like little thing of soup and she was so hungry she ate it and then she ate too much, she nearly died. You know, so
Wow.
it's like this is in my because I was like, why am I so like this all the time? I've done so much work. What is happening to me? Like, why am I still so terrified to release? And it was in my genetics, and I had to really excavate and do a lot of somatic work. And for some clients that come to me, they have like past life stuff, like not even this lifetime, it's like past lifetime. And I had past lifetime, I had all these things, I had all the things, and I'm like, oh my God. So wherever you are, like wherever you are, if you have this desire, and I always say like your desire is like this north star, it's like guiding you, it's not a coincidence, not like
Mm.
a like random thing. You're meant to have it, you're meant to have it, it's guiding you. So if you're feeling the pull to have more money, to follow your dreams, to have like the business whatever like of your dreams, like follow that thread, follow that thread, and you can transform anything. Like I've seen total miracles in my life, in my clients' lives, in like other people that are around me. So yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And as you say with epigenetics, like we're not just holding our own stuff here. And everyone, if you made it this far, congratulations, you are also holding some trauma, and not all of it is yours, and not all of it you're going to know about. So by being able to go and work beyond the mind into what else is there, really allows you to create so much freedom. Because a lot of our stories are not ours, and you don't have to go back so far. I mean, in your case, severe famine. In other people's cases, we have, slavery, we have witch hunts, we have all kinds of things that come
Even
up
like
that,
bankruptcy in the family, that's
yeah,
huge trauma as well.
yeah. And yeah, not to like list out all the trauma, and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, we move from our level of best awareness, right? And yes, there is like generational trauma, and yes, there's also so much in terms of generational gifts that maybe people in your ancestors and your lineage, they didn't have the capacity to access. But in doing your work upgrading, you get to access and reach some of those things. So what I love is it's like it doesn't matter what happened to you, or doesn't matter what you're carrying that's maybe yours, maybe not, maybe from the past. It doesn't tell you anything about what you're capable of achieving, because you get to be the creator. You get to choose your worthiness. And as you say, like follow your joy, follow your desire. And if the desire says, I want to be spoiled rotten, right? I want to build millions. I want all of this stuff. But you're telling yourself the story of like, oh yeah, but you can't have that. It's like, oh, this is my work. Why can't I have that, right? And moving in from that space that allows you to actually receive more versus making yourself wrong, because we can hold on to so much judgment, and then it's the judgment that keeps us stuck, that keeps us in the space of like, oh well, you can't be a good person if you want lots of money, or you can't be a good lover or partner if you want your partner to provide for you and give to you. Then it's like, oh, okay, what are my actual stories around this? And sometimes we've heard them for so long in our inner world, we just hear them as truth. So being able to escape this, rewire it, upgrade this, and think, yeah, actually, what if I am worthy of all of this stuff? What if it's no coincidence that I'm being called to these things? And what if I follow that and find out it's just a really beautiful and expansive way to approach life?
Absolutely.
Yes. And you talk a lot about magic as well. So I want to ask you the difference between and like what are the signs that someone's still trying to like human their way to success? And then how do we begin to magic our way to success instead?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, this is like a huge thing. Part of my mystery school, our movement is to infuse magic and miracle into the mundane. And really, I support people to, everyone talks about this 2080, right? But it's really like, how can you actually just do 20% effort with 80% like results? Because
Mm,
meaning you're doing 80% for 20. Yeah, you're
mhm,
pushing, and there are so many nuances to this, but like limiting beliefs is where you begin. Yeah, because if you're because your beliefs create your reality. So if you're like, oh my God, I suck at copywriting and I'm sitting here writing my sales page, that's going to be so much energy leak. You're
yeah.
going to effort, you're going to push. Whenever you force, you push, you are leaking energy, you are humaning. It doesn't feel
Mhm,
like flow. Yeah. Another way to talk about magic I hear is like the flow state, when you're just like in flow, it's just pouring through you. But noticing your beliefs and also energy. Energy is everything, like working on your energy. I love to talk about manifestation. And now I'm teaching like really nuanced energetics because it starts with your beliefs create your reality. But then it's like, okay, what is actually happening in your body? Right?
yeah.
Because you, as we already talked, you can be like manifesting things and wanting things and calling things in. But if your nervous system is not on board, no chance.
Mhm,
No freaking chance. So this is where humaning comes in. You're like wanting all these things, you're going for that promotion, you're going for that 10K launch, 100K launch, $1 million year, but you're just in force, and that's just leaking energy. You then burn out, then you talk yourself out of it, then you doubt, then you project, like you said, you judge, you shame everyone, you project, blah, 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 and then you're just human looking at everyone else, comparing yourself and comparing
mhm.
despair.
The
Yeah,
blame game. Yeah.
the blame game. Yeah, and it's like, oh, I can't have it. Why did I think I could have it? What? Right, so very common, very common. And when you're magicking through life, you're really tapping into those higher frequency vibration, like gratitude and joy and bliss and love. Love is the answer. You are shadow hunting, right? So you're like, oh, golden nugget, I'm projecting here. And then you're doing the inner work, you're doing the embodiment work, you're fine tuning your intuition. So then you're like being guided and magic. Like literally, like before we jumped on, I was just sharing like a huge thing that's about to happen in my business that it was like just felt like so out of reach, like so freaking crazy. I was like, who am I to win $1 million in my business this year? There's no chance. There's no freaking chance. But because of the work I'm doing, it's literally like the testament. I'm like, oh my God, once I hit this, it's like there's no doubting this anymore. But I have these tests all the time. I have this crazy dream, and I'm like, okay, if I hit this, then I'm the manifesting queen. And then I hit it. I'm like, okay, well, if I hit that, I'm really. And then I'm like, I love to play the game because one of my things from the very start of when I started my business was to make the impossible possible. So I love to go for those crazy dreams, and we all have them. This is why I'm saying like they're your like light. Like go for
Yeah.
the light because they're guiding you there. So because of my field now, it's like don't even need to do the thing. It comes to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And this is when you are in flow. This is when you're in such deep alignment with your soul mission that the universe just carries you. But you have to get to that point. So many people want to be there and they're just sitting there manifesting, doing sex magic. But you need to, at the beginning, combine it with divine inspired action. Yeah, you
Mhm.
need the balance, and eventually you will get, but it's still balance. There is still action. I'm still doing action, but it's like,
Mm.
because I'm in such momentum, it's like really carrying me, like really carrying me. I still have to like go through these crazy loops. And on our last live, I was talking about this crazy party where I was like, if I go, I'm going to network and like, da, da, da. And I didn't network. I didn't do it because I just wanted to have fun. But the universe was like, you are going to meet these people no matter what. And I did. And now these connections are leading to something even crazier, you know? So, and then like, so it's like, whoa, magic. Like it's
Yeah.
magic. And the first sign is synchronicity. You know, you are at the right place at the right time and you feel it. You're like, whoa, what a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence. And then it's more and more and more. And then you're in this field where things start to just come out of, like money dropping, clients dropping, your dreams dropping, like all these things. And this is the point where you need to work on your capacity to hold, to receive that worthiness, that deservingness, because this is the thing. Most of the people actually get to this state, but they don't know they're in this state.
Mm.
And as this thing is coming, their dream is coming, they're so like, so it's like all these dreams are coming, they're like,
Yeah.
and
Nowhere
I'm
for
just
the
like,
dream to land, right?
yeah, so for everyone listening, I'm just like, you're like handballing them away. You're just like, all this magic is coming your way, and you're like swatting it like flies, you know, away,
Yeah.
away, away. You're swatting these flies away. And then you're like, oh, why don't I ever get anything I want? Right. And this is the cycle I see in people all the time.
Yeah, so beautifully put, and I'm sure so many people can resonate. This sort of bring it back to the 80-20 versus the 20-80. And there are so many people, they think they need to suffer and struggle their way to get the thing that they want, that when it flows easily to you, it's almost like, oh no, that didn't count. Or no, I don't want that. Or no, I can do it myself. So, you talk about receiving, and it's like, well, how open are my receiver channels? If, say, somebody wants to say, I want to make you a cup of coffee. And you're like, yeah, great, thank you. And then you're like, actually, I'll just do it myself. Right. And then you realize, like, on this very small level, life is coaching you to show you, like, hey, you're not open to receiving. Can you just sit your butt down, girl, and allow yourself to receive? Or you notice, like, somebody takes you out for dinner and you're immediately like, let's split the bill, or like, I'll get the next one. You're trying to balance. And the universe doesn't care about that stuff. The universe doesn't care about how much you balance something, how good of a person you are, or anything like that. But can you graciously and lovingly receive? And if you're putting so many conditions onto your receiving of I can only receive if I give the exact same amount back, or if I do this thing to make it up or whatever, then you're in a survival matrix with it. So I love that, opening up the relationship to be able to receive, of letting it be easy. And something else you mentioned in there that I want to draw back on is this idea of sometimes we give a lot of attachment to what things mean, i.e., when I hit 10K months or when I hit a million, it will mean this about me. And then sometimes we hit the goal and then we're like, nah, maybe that didn't really mean that. Maybe the next thing. Well, and we just keep moving the goalpost. Or maybe sometimes we have such a high attachment to that, whatever we think it's going to be in the 3D, that we almost block like something even better coming. So the way that I like to manifest, and I would love to hear your insight on this, because I feel like maybe this is a story of mine, but when I have so much attachment to how the thing looks, I'm almost blocking myself at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things you said I want to like circle back to. I'm like, keep it in my mind, keep it in my mind. So I'll answer that, and then I want to like go back to a few things. I think it will be really powerful for the listeners. So yeah, number one rule of manifestation is zero attachment. You have to let go of that. And it's always like, you think like who you are now cannot even imagine who you will be when you get that thing, you know? And it's like you're asking for crumbs, breadcrumbs, like breadcrumbs. Trust me, you think your dream is crazy? It's fucking not.
The universe is not on a budget.
It's not. It's not. It's not. And so there's like that one aspect. And so, oh, it's yeah, there is just so much more. The goalpost thing, so many people do not allow themselves to reach the goal, to celebrate. The most important thing when you're manifesting, when you're creating, is to celebrate everything. The higher you're elevating the frequency, everything is about energy. Elevate, elevate, elevate. When you reach your goal and your disappointment, what is that telling the universe? That is so human. Magic is elevation. Then you're magnetizing 10 times the amount. So zero attachment. If you're attached, you're blocking. You're so correct. You're blocking everything. You're also in a very like scarcity. You're in scarcity. You're like, oh my God, I can't let go of this. So that's blocking it already, but you're also so hyper focused. Wherever you focus, energy flows, right? Wherever focus goes, energy flows. So if you're looking here, you're missing all the magic that is around you. So that's what I want to say on that. On receiving, I want to say, like, imagine you like bought the most incredible gift for your friend. You are so excited. You like been shopping and you're like, oh, I love this. And then you're like, next day you love this. And you put all this effort into it and you're so excited and you're like about to give the gift. And your friend is like, oh, no, thanks. Imagine how that feels. Like you put all that effort. You love giving.
Yeah.
And so when someone just blocks your receiving, you're like, oh. So we can again personify the universe or people around you, right? So imagine you give the gift and they're like, oh, what the fuck? What is that? What is that? Like, what? Oh,
Yeah.
that, just that? You just gave me that? Oh, I was wanting a 10K launch and I only have a 5K launch. Oh, I want a 10K launch and I only got 9.5K. What is that? You know?
Yeah.
Of the
Yeah.
other, it's like they don't even enjoy the gift. They're like, oh, here's your gift. So it's like we all love the acknowledgement and the celebration of the effort. So this is something, if you find it hard to receive, but you love giving, I invite you to really put yourself in the other person's shoes, and that will really expand your capacity. This is a really great way. And the other thing that came through when you were talking, like, sit your butt down and about the coffee cup, is like, you want this coffee, but then you're like waiting and then you're like, oh, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
And I just wrote a post on this and I think this is so profound. Like, why do people not succeed? Yeah, this is so profound because they give up too early, right? The thing is they're too impatient. So they might fail once, they get back up. They might fail twice, 3 times, 4 times. Okay, they're done. They just are impatient. They're attached to the way it should be when that is not the way it's gonna be. And if you, again, you can have anything, not everything. So wherever your focus goes, energy flows. So focus on the thing you want, not everywhere, and you'll get it. Just don't give up. So why do people not succeed? Is because they give up too early. Yeah. Or they're like not giving all their energy. They're doing all the things. So like they're not hyper fueling this. Again, like to answer your question, what is humaning and what is magicking? It's actually using your life force energy. And like really like magicking is understanding your life force energy, unblocking it, using it to vitalize you. So then you're not burning yourself out. Like you're literally an endless fountain of goodness and fueling it towards your dreams. That is magicking.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I talk about evolution, not end points. And as you say, like you pour something in, it's like, but it's got to be the 10K launch. And when it doesn't get it, it's like, that was all wasted. That wasn't worth it, kind of thing. Falling in love with the journey, doing the launch, not from a space of like, I so desperately want to avoid this from feeling. But what if I was just going to enjoy every moment? What if the launch wasn't about the 10K? Or what if the launch wasn't about the whatever it is? What if I did this for the pure love of it and I wasn't going to even sell within this, but I just share this because it's what I'm passionate about, what I love? Then you're in love with the journey of it. Then you're not attached to the outcome of it. And then it's like, oh, that naturally becomes a match to you because you are the frequency for a match of it. Versus when you're moving from a space of fear and this better work out or it's not going to be worth it and I don't want to fail. And as you say, you pull yourself out of the game early because sometimes as well, people get so busy and they're doing all the things they think they should do in the avoidance of failure that they unintentionally create that failure. So, yeah, I love how you're sharing this, it's like be in love with the journey, enjoy the process of it. And the more that you're like, yeah, this is who I am being, then naturally you will do the things that flow as a result of that. Naturally, you're going to get those downloads. You're going to be able to land the divine guidance that you receive of like, hey, go this way, hey, write a post on this today, and you're going to be able to hear it and you're going to be able to then act on it versus like, what are all the things that I should be doing to make sure this doesn't possibly fail. It's almost like we're
Exactly.
too busy to create a landing pad for the things that are actually trying to course correct our rocket ship on. So
Exactly.
yeah, I love this. And you talk about your journey to a million as well. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you brought it up. So I'm wondering, like, if you could go back and speak to an earlier version of you, or even speak to someone who was earlier on in the journey about their journey to 1 million and some of the key lessons that you've learned in that, some of the things you wish you knew earlier on, what would you share?
Oh my God, I was literally thinking that just before we jumped on this call because I had this really crazy like goal in my first year. It was to hit 300K and I would have done it. But the thing is, I was not in the right environment and I talked myself out of it because it felt impossible. It felt like everyone was like, I literally had a man stop dating me because he thought I was Maya. Um, yeah, so this man, he like stopped dating me because he thought I was crazy. And that really impacted me. Actually, it really traumatized me for a very long time. And, today I had such a big reminder. And I think this is going to, that if you get this, you get this. And it's really like, it's all about the rooms that you're in. If you're a big fish in your pond, get go find the ocean because that is how you reach your crazy wildest dreams. If you're not even like dreaming, one of my mentors was talking about the different stages of dreams. There's like the fixed desires, that just bring ease. Like I want a 10K month because that's like cover all my bills, but then there's the exponential, like that actually break your soul, crack you open into something. And for me, like I know I'm a manifesting queen. I can get anything I want. Like men I want, food I want, accommodation. Like I've manifested like free accommodation all over the world, like the craziest adventures. So for me, I love to play with finances because that used to be my biggest kryptonite. Now, not so much, but it used to be. So then I'm like, okay, let me like get a really crazy goal. And then you reach that goal and you're like, okay, what about this crazy freaking goal? And I love it for stretching me. So I really invite you to like, if you have this crazy freaking goal, like go for it, see what happens because it pushes you into a new reality. So for me, I freaking wish like I had the mentors and the people and the communities I have now when I started my business to be like, duh, of course you're gonna do it. Like you're so on track. Like just keep going, don't stop. And
Mm.
I wish I didn't, but I did. And that's part of my lesson and part of my journey. And that brings me a lot of sadness right now. And now I know it's like, now I'm not gonna stop. And this is the part I want to bring is this, live by this quote. You either win or you learn. So just like know that no matter how freaking bad you're gonna F up and fail, it's a lesson. It will make you who you are. And I actually channeled this incredible thing for my client the other day, and I want to share it with you guys because I talk about like the fast track and the scenic route. And my client started to feel sad being on the scenic route. They all wanted to quantum leap, they wanted to be on the freeway. And I was like, guys, come on, like the scenic route is a scenic route for a reason. Like we choose to take the scenic route because of this beauty, because of
Yeah.
the adventure, because of the slowness, because of the ease. But really, like it's a choice. We choose it. So in life, once you're on the scenic route, choose that. Yeah, because you might have not realized that on the freeway, there's no toilets, there's no snacks, there's no food, and you might have left the trip by yourself and you're like, I need entertainment. So you might have had to get off and maybe you ran out of fuel. That's a big thing. A lot of people on the freeway run out of fuel because they're like, I'm on the freeway. Turn off. I didn't know no refuel station, and they're going and they're burning themselves out. You might be one
Yeah.
of them. So you've got off there because you're like, I need fuel. I need
Mm-hmm.
fuel. I need snacks. I might need some entertainment. So enjoy the ride. And when you're ready, you're replenished. You can then get back on the freeway and you're going to go so much further, so much faster, and in so much more pleasure, right? So if you
Mm.
have a setback, see it as a setup. Yeah. Another metaphor I really like is like the slingshot, because some of my clients are like, oh my God, I feel like I'm moving 5 steps back all the time. And it's like, no, you're preparing for like the launch of your lifetime. So I think these
Yeah.
are the main things that I would like really want to ingrain into me then is like, don't sweat the small stuff, honestly. Understand energy leaks. Like, focus. Wherever focus goes, energy flows. Don't even worry about that ever.
Mm.
Don't worry. Like, if people are doing weird things, like check in with your thing, with your integrity. Can you fix it? And then just keep going. Like, focus on where you want to go, not anything that's stopping you. Yeah. Have compassion. Yeah, have so much love and stay in the higher frequency vibrations. Yeah, you all like if you play a big game, you're going to be snapping back all the time. Valleys, it's valleys, and then it's peaks, and then it's valley, peak, valley, peak, valley. So have a personal practice that you can snap back. You can snap back. Like yesterday was one of the best days of my life. I woke up today being like, so shit. Life is so shit. I hate my lover. Everything is going wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm having a contraction. So this is another thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Understanding that after every expansion, there is a contraction. I'm like, oh, I'm having a contraction. What are some practices that get me in a really good state? Gratitude. So I did a practice and then I started dancing. And then I realized like how epic my life is. Like I'm literally experiencing everything I want with my lover.
Mm.
I'm like doing so well in my business. And then this magical $1 million crazy experience happened today. And it's all energy. So
Yeah.
understand energetics. That is like also like, honestly, don't poo poo on energetics because that is the secret. This is the secret of all successful people. So
Yeah, I
much, but
love
there's
this.
so much.
There is so much, and some things I want to pull out from that is like you are not entitled to the results of your labor, you are entitled to your labor. So love the labor, love the journey, find pleasure in it. We think that, like I say, this suffer struggle. Like if I put enough pressure on it, then I'll get the thing I want. But actually that isn't conducive to the result you want to get. Bring in more pleasure, more play. This is where your nervous system feels more relaxed, where you can be open to receiving more. So yeah, take the scenic route. Yeah, stop off and eat a sandwich and drink in the view. Like, yeah, enjoy every part of it instead of being attached to the end point destination. And then you'll just get there and be disappointed and think, wow, could have spent that last 3 hours getting there actually having a good time. And I love this metaphor of expansion and contraction. And it's like, yeah, when we hit like our upper limit, right? You even think about like a flower opening, it doesn't just go, boom, it comes out, in, out, in, out. We're expanding the capacity, right? So you hit your upper limit and it's gonna have to do this. So being able to notice that and being like, oh, I notice it. This is just me recalibrating to this. This doesn't mean I've done it wrong. I need to take myself out of the game. I need to start judging myself and reminding myself what a failure I am, which, spoiler alert, that is not good fuel to put in your vehicle if you want to go forwards.
Not
So
good to
yeah.
have on the radio.
Yeah, so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure so many people are going to get a lot out of this. Um, if we could burn to the ground right now one myth or narrative about money or power that you just wish we could get rid of, that no one has to hold anymore, what would it be?
That you don't need those things.
The myth that you don't need money and power.
That you don't need money, you don't need power.
Because the truth is,
The truth is, like, it's part of you, It's like if you're like rejecting it, this is the thing about beliefs, right? Anything that you like try, like like push away, that's what you magnetize.
Mm-hmm.
So like having this belief, I don't need this and I don't need that. Like the fact that you're thinking that, like you're pushing it away. It's like it's like you're pushing these things away because you're trying to say like, oh yeah, I don't need this, I don't need this, but it's like that's where the power is at. But you rejecting it, like all these things that we've been told to like have shame around, power, money, all this is the vehicle for you to create your life. Yes, you don't need it, but if you carry that belief, you're gonna push it away.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't need it, you're going to push it away.
Yeah.
And you're going to make it bad, that it's like, oh, if I need it, it's wrong. Da, 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 da. So you like don't want to have that belief. You don't, like, if you don't have that belief, it will just come to you. But like having the frequency, and this is the nuance, and sometimes it's very complex to understand, but having that frequency, like, I don't need no man, I'm like independent, I don't need this thing, like having these beliefs, they have
Yeah.
such strong energy field that just pushes everything away.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was like, we're not like switching it into I need it. It's like you're
Yeah.
getting rid of that belief, because this is like the Byron Katie way. So
Yeah.
who would you be without that belief? That is the
Yeah.
question she asked. When it's burnt to the ground, like without that belief, you're free to receive whatever's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. You're no longer repelling it of I don't need this and I don't want it. It's like, great, you get to have that. You get to
Yeah,
have that result. Versus,
yeah.
what I'm hearing is like you don't need to make yourself wrong for wanting those things. And it doesn't need to be coming from a space of need, but desire. Like, yeah, I desire loads of money, I desire loads of power. And also that's okay. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I'm so Byron Katie, and it's such a different thing. It's like with her work, it's not like just because you burn that the opposite is the thing that happens. It's like, no, you actually don't have that. And
Yeah.
this is the power. It's like the power of noticing and coming back to everything we talked about, of this like acceptance and
Yeah.
this love, that you're not like pushing anything away, judging it, that that's bad to want, that's bad to have, and
Mhm.
judging your desire. It's, yeah, so that's like the nuance, and we can talk this. So
Yeah.
this is the thing I love. This is like the magic. This is the magic that I talk about and I teach, because this other word that you use, entitlement, yeah, wow, the frequency of that, so I love to really dig into the frequency of words, like emotions, states, and how they impact our field. Because I speak another language, I don't know if you do, but it's like a totally different world. The same words mean different things in different cultures. So it's like we create so much with vibration. Like words
Yeah.
are spells. We are
Yes.
constantly fruitioning into reality. So we have
Yeah.
so much power on top of, like, oh my God, oh, I can just go, but I'm gonna go. That's a bonus. There's a like a magic bonus. So it's on top of the words you say, there's a frequency you can say them in that either repels or summit, like, so there's just so much magic that I
Mm.
love to dive into. And you have to be at a certain level and frequency. Some of you might be like, what is she on? But people that are into this, like, you really have to have some embodiment of this,
Mm.
because then you're fine tuning your ability to really like do some magic in the world. And I use
Yeah.
the word like manipulate energy, because that's what you do. You're bending, you're warping, but like that also holds such a negative energy, right? So, oh, this is what I'm like my taboo like radar is like, ooh, let's talk about all the taboo things and like the secretness of it. So thank you for following that thread and letting me go on this like crazy energy frequency tangent, because this is really like such
Yeah.
my work. And I feel like once you nail it at a really higher level, and you're literally just pulling in everything you want, And it's so powerful. And I really work with healers, change makers, and thought leaders. So I work with people that want to have bigger impacts in the world and use this for good. And people that come into my world are really heart-centered, soul-centered. So I feel really like I have a very strong energy field, and I repel all the baddies. Like I really do. So I feel really safe to teach this because I know it's going into the ears and like the hands of good people. Because like for people to actually hear this part, the best part, they have to have stayed past the thing, and this is how it works. It's like because I run a mystery school, right? And I teach people magic. I teach people actually mysteries and like secrets, but they have to go through so many little things to actually get there, to receive the goods. And on that journey, they're totally transforming who they are to fully actually be able to receive the transmission. And not everyone gets there. And it's really like today I had this thing. I was in like at the beginning of my business journey in such an ego state, like in scarcity. I was still in scarcity. I needed everyone. And now I'm like, no, because the magic you're going to get from me is going to like 10x your life. So like I want you to really want to be there. Like I'm going to totally transform your whole reality. So I'm not going to force you into it. I'm not going to like pull you in. It's like you have to fight for it actually. And I feel like a fun way to fight for it is through money, having a certain price to have to move through all these beliefs, to be like, identity shift to be like, yes, I'm ready. Like, and then people show up, they get to a place of like, there's no turning back. I've said yes, and I'm scared and I regret this, but I'm keep on keeping on. And then you realize like you move through that. You came out of the cocoon as a butterfly and it was horrible because you're like, this sucks. And then you're like flying around the world and you're like, oh, actually, this is awesome. So this is like the magic. And if you feel drawn to my weird magic, hey, I want to summon you in. But you can only find out about like the crazy, crazy things when you're like in my world. Because I'm not like I like to keep things secret. I always wanted to be like a mysterious person. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do the big things. And I do. And it's really for the masses because I really want to help the masses. Like I do a lot of free things to educate people and help them because I get that they're so in their scarcity that they're not going to invest. There's no way. They're so brainwashed. So I give them lots of things to help them. But the people that actually going to shine, they're the people that have already moved through a lot of the money stuff. They understand. They're ready to play the bigger game. They understand that it's just energy and they're ready to go to the next level. So there's so many like on like a spiritual level, there's so many like life lessons that you have to get through to then actually be able to receive your next gift from the universe, like the key to the next. Anyway, I'm going really weird, so I'm going to stop now. I love you.
Where, if people want to find you and learn more about what you're doing, where do they reach out to you?
So I would love to connect on Instagram. So my name is I am Dasha Barsakova. And I also am an old school Facebooker. So I'll give that, I think I gave that link. I have a website that you can look at things, but I think all my free things are in my LinkedIn, in my Instagram. Yeah, so I'll be doing my money magic course. We're in the launch now, so I think you'll still be able to sneak in. There might be also some free things, free offerings. So the money magic portal is really all about diving into healing your trauma, money trauma, like finding out what is your money trauma and healing it through somatics and energetics, right? And also like looking at these like beliefs that we're carrying, right? Like the beliefs that are running the show, the beliefs that we in our subconscious. I really love the work of Byron Katie. And I don't know if
Yes,
people are
me
familiar
too.
with her.
If
And
you're
the
not,
thing,
episode 2 tells you all about it in the podcast.
amazing, episode 2, Byron Katie. So she has this practice where she looks at your beliefs, right? And the thing is, like, she does this thing with the aliens. So they come in and they take away that belief, you know? So like if you take this belief of like need, you know, it's like it doesn't even exist. You're not even thinking about it. It's just like it's there or not there. But yeah, so money magic is all about the nuance of energetics, actually. I touched upon a little bit of that, but there are so many things that we are doing that it's like adding to this forcing, adding to the energy leaks, you know, like staying in this fear, really blocking ourselves. And this, it all comes back to your body, you know, to the somatic and doing that inner work. So I'm really excited to be bringing that. So you can find out about it on my website. And if you want, just DM me. And there's lots of free stuff all over the shop. So I hope this was helpful. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Well, Dasha, thank you so much for dropping such magic with us today. And I'm just loving hearing your perspectives on wealth, sacred rebellion, and yeah, what do you want to see more of in this world? So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for letting me go totally weird at the end. I'm so, yeah, love life and love you. And I love sisterhood. And I just want to like say that. So beautiful. One more thing, just one more thing. You know, what I wish I learned at the beginning of my journey is to heal my sisterhood wound earlier, to actually realize how powerful it is when women come together, when women raise each other, where they support each other, that they understand that no one can be them when they're truly themselves, and that they can just love on each other. And the more they love on each other, the more they support each other, the more they fuel each other, the brighter their own being becomes. And I think if I knew that, I would be like on a totally different planet. And I'm
Yeah,
grateful that I'm getting it now, finally.
it is such a gift. Yeah. Yeah, I love that share. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone, for listening and your time and your energy.
And if this conversation cracked something open for you, feel free to slide into our DMs, share this podcast episode and tag us at Katie Rogers Coaching and at I am Dasha Barsakova. Share with us your biggest takeaways. And if you love this episode, follow and rate the show. It helps more soul-led women find this space. And if you're ready to go deeper into your own becoming, you can join the portal, a 30-day energetic recalibration space for women ready to move from pressure to power, from performance to presence. You can also check out katierogerscoaching.com to receive my free somatic sales masterclass, because business moves when your body is online. This work isn't about fixing, it's about expanding your awareness, unlocking your inherent wisdom, and using the raw material of life as fuel for your evolution. You were never meant to outsource your answers. You have always been the portal. Until next time, honey, stay magnetic, stay sovereign, and lead from self.